Good morning, everybody. Today is going to be really lit because I have someone extremely special in house that will be, guiding us on this conversation. The female breadwinner. Sister Tosi, thank you very much for joining in this morning. I see you there. Okay, yeah, now I have received your. Need Dumade, good
Yeah, I'm
morning.
here.
Yeah, we are both. We are alive on both of them. Good morning, Adori.
Good morning. Okay.
Thank you for being here so bright and early for us. But it is in the middle of the night for you there.
Yeah.
And we want to really appreciate you for the sacrifice this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for waking up in the middle of the night to honor this invitation.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I hope the volume on Facebook is okay. Please, I hope the volume on Instagram is also okay. Please, if you are watching from around, please let us just give us feelers so that we can know. Okay, someone said there's underground echo. How do I fix that? Yeah. Okay, maybe we should just go ahead, and I guess that the people here will help me to figure out how to, I don't know how to go about this, but I know that someone is going to help me soon. Okay, so this morning we want to talk about the female breadwinner, and we have someone extremely important in the house. My sister and friend for a long time. We flow with this kind of English language that you don't want her to speak it here. She gingers me when it comes to that kind of English language. But I know that she doesn't want to go that route this morning. So please just introduce yourself.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Nike. My name is Adori Deborah Onmer. I'm a HR consultant and a mother of three. And recently, I moved to Canada and I started on a new career path. Yet
Okay.
to unfold, yes, but it is in the health sector. So, but the good thing is, I'm also a female breadwinner. So,
Yeah.
and that's what we're talking about today.
Okay, someone is giving us a suggestion that do you have an earpiece there?
Okay. Do you
That
prefer
probably you
that?
should use your earpiece on Facebook now. I don't know.
Okay, go ahead. But if I use
Let's see
an
if it makes any
earpiece,
difference.
okay.
Let's
Okay,
see if it
let's
makes
try.
any difference.
Um,
There is plenty talk to be talked this morning, and I hope it's not coming from my end.
Go and bring the earpiece. Okay. The one.
But we might just continue while we wait for the piece and see whether this is where the issue is coming from. Okay, this morning you have introduced yourself, and I just want to quickly say this that we are having this discussion on the backdrop of the story that we shared a couple of weeks ago. And just to intimate people that are coming for the first time, okay, let me give you, okay, okay. So please, people out there, just give us your comments. Let's know whether the feedback assists now.
Is it better now?
I can hear you perfectly. I've always heard you. But people said that they are hearing, echo out there.
Because of the two phones.
Yeah.
Kule, can you see echo there? Okay, so I guess we are fine. I guess we are fine. Okay. I guess we are fine. At least people here said they can't hear any echo anymore. Okay, so Nanny Licious said she thinks that it's coming from my end.
Okay.
No, it's coming from your end.
Okay. So how do we do this? Do I remove my
No more
earpiece?
No more echoes.
No more echoes. Okay, there's no more echo. Okay. All right. This morning, so that we can just avoid distractions as much as possible, I know that you are a very strong woman. Whoa. I'm hearing that there's still echo. So what do I do now? Technical people, come and help me out. Oh, is Kunle there? Because I can't hear any echo here.
It's okay. Let's try.
Okay, Nana Alicia says she can't hear any echo on Instagram now, but on Facebook we are still having echoes on Facebook. So what do we do now? Okay, I've been asked to drop this here. So help me check, is the echo still there? Okay, Instagram people, you are welcome a lot. Instagram people don't have this problem. Facebook people, maybe you may need to migrate, we don't know. But let's just continue our conversation and see how far we get with it. Like I said, we're having this discussion based on the backdrop story that we've been sharing. I presently have a client, and with their permission, I've been asked to share their story so that they can get feelers as to what other people think about their situation. And I also want them to feel other people as well, so that it will not just be like, oh, the counselor said, the therapist said. Let them know that, okay, this is the general way that people would ordinarily view their story. The wife, they got married about 6 years ago, and that's the backdrop story. They got married about 6 years ago, and almost immediately after they got married, the husband lost his job. They were both doing well with their career before that sad incident happened, and the guy lost his job. And after losing his job, the wife said she had to become the breadwinner of the home. And being the breadwinner of the home, everybody knows that she felt stressed and all of that. And eventually, really, she felt pressured because her husband became almost depressed. She had to push, she had to encourage him, do a lot just to get the home running. She even said that while she was at all of that, even when she paid rent and all of that, the guy just kept lamenting about how he couldn't do better, but she really felt very heavy. And in the process, she started speaking to her colleague in the office, who happened to be a guy. One thing led to the other, and they had an affair in the process. She said she knew it was wrong. The guy also knew it was wrong, and eventually they stopped. But she said she needed the right time to confess to her husband, so she waited for the time to be right. And by that, I mean that she stopped. She decided that she was going to either get a job or the guy got another job. And but if, as God will have it, about 6 months after the guy got another job, he left. And at the time that she felt it was appropriate for her to also confess to her husband, at that time the husband also got another job, which she felt, well, perfect timing. And she got this. She reported herself that this is what I've done. I'm sorry about it. I didn't want to do this. She just confessed generally. And the guy initially was very angry, but eventually decided that she was going to forgive. I mean, he was going to forgive her, and they continued with the marriage. But she said that after then, it's a year now after the guy has forgiven her, but she's not heard the last of it. That every time something happened, he was always insinuating that you are doing something wrong or this or that. And at a point, she just said, you know what, I erred, and I know that I erred, and right now I need a divorce. If I know I'm in the wrong, and if that is going to be the punishment for my wrongdoing, it's okay. Let me just, come out of this marriage. And but at that time they got people to counsel them to seek counsel, and that is why we are here. But the guy kept saying that, do you know what it takes for a guy to forgive infidelity and all of that? It's a lot. So on this particular discussion, we've had a lot of sides. We've talked about the male perspective of what the perspective of the male concerning forgiving infidelity, what it means for a guy and all of that. Last week we were able to draw a balance, what it means for a woman as well to forgive infidelity, all the pain and the hurt and the betrayal involved, how people feel generally. But today, because of this their story, and we'll be encouraging people to drop their comments as much as possible. What we are trying to achieve today is to get people to understand what it means for a woman to be the breadwinner. What does it mean for a woman to be the breadwinner? How does she cope with being the breadwinner? So that is the purpose of our conversation this morning. As many people as possible that want to comment and just add to the conversation, please, you are free to, because this couple, they are going to eventually watch this, and they will read our comments as well. So this morning, you are here because, yes, you have a very broad shoulder and you are carrying things. So I know that when we were talking yesterday, and I was saying that we're going to talk about the breadwinner, you said something, and I felt it was something that everybody should just listen to. You said, what do you mean by breadwinner? Because we have different kind of breadwinners. So this morning, what are the different kinds of breadwinners that we have?
Thank you, Nikia, for having me here. It's an honor, really. So without wasting much time, because I'm sure our viewers are waiting to hear, first of all, let me define what I understand as a breadwinner. A breadwinner is someone who is financially empowered, who can also contribute at least a little more than 50% of their finance to the upkeep of their home. So it's not just enough that you earn much. You have to also be willing to contribute. So having the money and contributing makes the person a breadwinner, especially if it is a little more than the other person's finances. But life has changed so much. We're no more in the traditional sphere. A lot of people are moving away from the traditional sphere where only the man stands at as the breadwinner of the home. These days we find all sorts of breadwinners. We find breadwinners who are not breadwinners in their marriages, but they are breadwinners to their family. So even though they're
Okay.
married, their husband's taking care of them, they are taking care of their mom, their dad, their siblings. Everything is on their
Yeah.
shoulder. They're also, you can call them breadwinners in that sphere. There's also the
Okay.
breadwinner who, yes, there's also the breadwinner who, out of mutual agreement, not that the man doesn't earn much, but out of mutual agreement, the man, they decide, you know what, you take care of these kind of things in the home. This one, school fees, is for you. This one is for you. So both of them, contribute equally. Then there are other ones, a breadwinner who happens to, bump into it, maybe because of
Yeah.
divorce, or maybe because of sudden death of a partner, or maybe because
Okay.
of abandonment, or maybe because of,
Share responsibility.
sheer irresponsibility. I'm so sorry, but I have to say it. Sheer irresponsibility. Because the thing is, there are some of our partners, who they're better outside. So they dress well, they
Hmm.
give to society, but they don't know how much Gary costs. They don't know how much
Yeah.
it costs to put food on the table. Not
They are
because
philanthropists to outsiders.
every time they come home, they find food on their table, and they're scared to ask.
Yeah.
So a female breadwinner, now I'm narrowing it down, is a woman
Yeah.
who is saddled. I hate to use the word saddled with the responsibility of providing the finances to run the home. In our society, like I said, we're moving from giving all the responsibility to the men, even though naturally that's how it was in the beginning. For the Igbos
Yeah.
in our culture, the Igbo people call their women Oriako, and Oriako means
Oh.
a wealth spender. So
Yes,
women
so yes, so
are supposed to be wealth spenders, but because the
I beg
society has
you.
changed, women, you find in the bigger society, almost, the workforce has up to about 60 to 70% of women, and they earn well, they work
Yeah.
well, earn well. So if you're a woman and you're up to it, you earn well, you're physically okay, there's nothing wrong with supporting your husband or supporting the family as a
The word
wife.
there underline support.
Yes. Yes, it's
Yeah.
support. And I'll explain as we go on.
Okay, so now that you've been able to give us a little bit of clarification, there are people that bumped into becoming a breadwinner. There are some people that don't breadwin, but they breadwin for their own family of origin. And there are some that they are just there, they are breadwinners because of sheer irresponsibility of their partners. And now we're talking
Yes.
about the female breadwinners. But this morning, I don't want us to talk about okay, yesterday you said something that you forgot to say today. You also talked about breadwinners, female breadwinners. Okay, that was the character of the
Mhm.
breadwinner.
Qualities and
And
emotions. Yeah.
yes, you talked about the breadwinner that rubs it in,
Yeah.
and the breadwinner that is calm, cool, and collected, and does her duties well.
Yes. You want me to talk
So
about it?
this morning,
Okay.
we don't want to talk about women that are abusive to their husbands, but they are breadwinners. We want to talk about women that have chosen to become breadwinners.
Mhm.
I mean, they didn't choose, that have breadwinners, and they are doing it with all their good conscience and how they would ordinarily feel.
Okay.
How easy is it for a woman to be the breadwinner?
Okay. Like I said earlier, I said naturally, it's not something that comes easy at the first instance. However, women are different. there's something I know that is underlying for every woman, and that's selflessness. Women are selfless. I mean, like we said, we're
Yeah.
talking about a good breed, because everything has a good and a bad breed. But for the good
Yeah.
breed, women who assume the position as breadwinners are first and foremost selfless, because what it means is that they see beyond themselves, not just the children,
Yeah.
anybody in the home, of course, including their partners if the partner is at home as well. But you see,
Mm-hmm.
assuming this position, if that wasn't the original plan, comes with a lot of emotion swings. So that it could swing from
Yeah.
anger to jealousy, to irritation, to frustration, and to fear. It could move in that negative direction. But as soon as the woman gets a hold of, this is what I've decided to do, or this has come upon me, and I must take full responsibility, the emotions start
Yeah.
giving way for her to work, and then she becomes focused. She becomes very attentive to the needs of the people that she's supposed to cater
Mm-hmm.
for. Um, you know, so what really goes on in the mind of such people is, where will the next meal come from? How will I make it up? How will there be food on this table? And what will make it an easy road to travel is the support of their partner. And
No,
that
before we
support,
even begin to talk about the support of their partner,
mhm,
I want us to quickly delve into, maybe examples and raw emotions of female breadwinners. You have spoken about, they can move from fear to anger. How do these things play out? So that we are not theory, right? We are not, this is not a theory,
mhm,
it is
mhm.
practical.
Yes, of course. Okay, well, when I say anger, the anger could be, it could be passed on to the children. It could also be passed on to the partner. Little conversations take, longer time to agree on. It could be passed on to the workplace. Any little thing that is said to the woman, she says, oh, maybe because you're not the one caring for your home. She rubs it in different ways. Okay, but after a while, you know, like I said, if she moves from that emotion, if she gets a hold of it, it's like a sail, smooth sailing. But the problem we have is that some people don't move past that emotion. And the reason why they don't move past the irritation, the jealousy, the fear. Now, when I say jealousy, jealousy could come in ways like that. You get to work, you see other colleagues wearing new wigs, wearing ring, gold and all that. But you can't, not that you can't afford it, but because you have decided to be selfless, putting your family first, it comes to you like, but I earned this money. How come I can't use it for myself? Initially, when there's a balance, then they can start buying those things. Because the first thing for a female breadwinner who the responsibility jumps on is not to go out there to buy all their shabi and everything. The first thing is to decide
Survival.
survival. That's the first thing. So that initial time, jealousy kicks in. If you don't manage, if the person doesn't manage, irritation.
Sincerely, I need to, give you a pat on the back for this thing that you just said, because I need men to understand that women are not primarily built to want to have to foot the bill.
Mhm.
You may foot the bill because you want to, but not because you have to. When a woman is put in that place where she has to work because she must provide.
Mhm.
She has to work because, hey, if I don't work, there will be fire on the mountain. it already makes her a very irritable person.
Oh, exactly.
And I think that men should understand that we are not wired that way. We are not wired to take on that responsibility. Yes, things are changing. We are getting to the point where women just decide that, you know what, let me do what I have to do. But women are ordinarily not wired like that, to want to pick up the bill, to want to be the one that must. Not that you have a choice in the matter, but it has to be like that. And that makes you a very, very bitter person somewhat. You lash out at kids, you become unpredictable with your emotions, people talk at you. And that thing that you just raised now is very major. People don't understand that the burden, having to carry that burden of, I'm the one that is fending for the home, comes with a lot of triggers. And these are some of the triggers that you just mentioned now. How would I be? I am working as her. In fact, sometimes, Adori, let's not tell lies. The people that you are even more senior, you are their senior at work, you earn better than them, and they have nicer husbands that take care of their bills. It means that you can't even dress to match them. Not to talk of your, equal.
Initially.
And it is a lot of burden to carry.
Yeah.
People should understand that this person, there are triggers everywhere to make her feel, less superior to some people. It takes a lot of winding and reassuring herself and self-talk for her to get to that place where she wakes up in the morning and she feels like, I'm okay by myself and I can face the world. And sincerely, I want to give you a pat, for, mentioning that, because these are real things that happen. So like for this man in this case now, he should understand that this lady, she has quote and unquote issues already. She's dealing with her own issues. And so maybe you shall continue to walk us through this emotion, or you want me to ask another question if you are done with this particular one.
Go ahead, maybe in the course of the discussion more.
I think that I also want to ask you, what do you think, how easy is it for a woman to manage her husband? Especially, the woman in this scenario, she was going through her own issues, and her husband was going through his own issue at the same time. He was getting depressed and thinking that the world is coming to an end. My wife is doing all the things that I'm supposed to be doing. She's carrying her own emotional baggage. And now, how does she add her husband's emotional baggage to what she's already going through?
Okay, well, for me, baggage is baggage. I mean, it could weigh differently, but they're all baggages. Communication is key.
Yeah.
Every relationship thrives on communication. If you don't open up to say, darling, this is what I'm going through, or this is, this is how far we have gone. Every day you come home, you make some room to have that conversation. Before you know it, things will start, tearing apart. Let's not forget that relationships, marriage relationships, are not built on money. I mean, the real value of it is not how much money that is brought in. The real value of every marriage relationship is the conversations that are, that are hard, are discussed in that relationship as it grows. So while the man is carrying his own, of course, I give it to the man as well. He sees himself and all of a sudden, he doesn't have a financial voice in his home. No man will be happy. So he's going through a lot. Sometimes he wants to buy an extra shawarma, but there's no money. And he feels, last she bought shawarma, she bought suya, and now I'm asking for shawarma. How will she feel? Maybe she wouldn't really feel anything, but because that conversation has not happened, The man makes up his mind, builds something in his own mind, and the woman builds her own. But for people to for this kind of thing not to grow deeper and become worse, people must discuss. I hear someone saying some people don't listen, some men don't listen. Well, that's an assumption. You have to try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times to conclude that your man doesn't listen. If you try the first time, you try the second time. And when I say try, there are different ways to do it. It doesn't always have to be the same way. Come, Mike, I want to talk to you. Sit down. No. There are different ways. It could be while you're eating. I mean, I'm not here to do marriage counseling, but I'm trying to draw out something. And that to carry the burden, that baggage, how to manage it is through conversations. You see, I'm not, this is a no judgment zone, but I want to make some kind of a statement. That lady that went off to work and started having the conversation and went into some kind of, relationship with the colleague or the boss. The reason that happened is because that conversation was not had with the right person. If she had that conversation with her own man, probably she would have caught that, that emotion that was growing. Women need support. When we're born, from the day we're born, we have protection. We seek that protection till we die, from our daddy to our husband, and then to our children in old age. From our daddy, they provide everything. Then we marry, daddy and mommy, and then we marry. Our husband is supposed to be there physically for us. He's supposed to be there emotionally for us. He's supposed to be there psychologically for us. He's supposed to be there sexually for us. He's supposed to be there all round. So when any of these misses or is not there, the woman sees that there's a void somewhere and quickly wants to get healed. So conversation is what makes the baggages light, and someday the baggages fizzle out. That's it.
It's looking like I can't hear. Hey. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay. It's like I lost you on Facebook. If somebody can help me request on that one, it will be fine. So if you can help me request on Facebook, but I lost you there. But towards the last thing that you said, well, I didn't really get that well. I think this thing is coming from my end here. Now I'm beginning to realize that, well, it's like this particular issue is from my end. But in going forward, I also want to ask how practicable it is for the roles in the home to remain the same. How is it practical that someone that wins the bread, a woman that wins the bread, the roles in the home remain the same? Is it possible?
Well, yes, it is practical. But you see, like I said, I always tell myself, the way you make your bed is the way you want to lie on it. And I'll explain what this means. It is not, forget about the traditional roles. Oh, you go to the market, you bring the money. So the man brings the money, the woman goes to the market. So now the woman is bringing the money. Should the man now go to the market? All should be done out of love. If the man says, oh, sweetheart, rest, let me go make some food for you, that's born out of love and romance. And it should be allowed. But not that the woman, for me, not that the woman will not, you know what? Now that I'm bringing the money, you go and scrub the floor. But you see, there's a strength that God gave women, and I'm not taking it away from any of them. A woman will stand up. go from the sitting room where she's watching the movie with the man to each of the rooms, check on the children, go to the kitchen, boil water, do this, do that, prepare for the next day before she goes. The man gets up from the bed, goes from the sofa, goes straight to the bed, and that's it. So I don't think it's right, not practical. It can be, it is not right to make it a clear-cut instruction that now that I'm bringing the money, you should go and get the food. You should go and do the rest. But the man can do all that.
I said we are trying to. I said it earlier that what we are talking about today is the good woman. We are not talking about a woman that is generally abusive towards her husband. You can spare record on this one. We are not talking about a woman that is, that will lash out at her husband or anything. We are talking. Come and take this. Sorry for small distractions. You can screen record on that one. What I'm saying is that we are not talking about such women. We are talking about women that want to do these things. They have the right attitude, but they need. How should it play out in their home? What are those things that will make her a better person? You understand? We're not talking about a woman that say that you go and wash plates. Can't you see that I bought this? No, we're not talking about those kind of women. But the roles within the home. I am of the opinion that it may not remain the traditional roles that always had. It may not remain because she may even be coming back from. You know what it is now. You may be coming back home with loads of work to still do. And you have deadlines, especially women that are in this kind of position. They've gotten to the point where they are thinking and acting like men. In their places of work, they are beginning, they try to strategically position themselves for the next, appointment and all of that. And so you see many of these women, they've become goal-getters of some sort. And they want to get things done and everything. With that, sometimes it becomes, and let's be, honest about these conversations, sometimes it becomes a bit too much for me to now fit back into that it's pounded yam that we have. Okay, let's get it. And and this is not saying that all men are like this. And some men are also very, demanding somewhat. They want this, they want that. Don't you know that I'm a typical Igbo man? This is what we want. Don't you know that I'm a typical Yoruba man? I don't eat cold food. All those kind of things. In fact, there was a lady that was saying that, the problem that she has right now is that she cooks and expects that her husband will, serve his own food. But it doesn't. He said, go and serve it for me. If she says that, go and carry your food, is in the microwave, he has a problem with it. He feels like, you are backing instructions to me, and she just feels like this is tiring. This is tiring. I cannot have all these other things that I want to do. And you don't want to understand that this is difficult for me as well. I think we should be, it can never be the same.
Okay,
it can never be the same.
Yeah, I hear you, and I agree with you to a large extent. And for me, right, obviously, things will not be the same, may not be the same again. But it all depends on the agreement they have. It all depends, if they want to have a happy marriage, it all depends on the agreement they have. Sometimes those agreements are not even verbalized. The man just says, oh, my wife comes home at 7. I don't think it's right that she comes in at 7 and starts cooking. So let me order something. Or she calls. But they're not
because some people don't even, like if you go and buy, there are people that actually buy soup and all of those. Some of their husbands are like, so you have become proud now, and you are ordering food. What does it take to cook?
you are feeling too high and mighty? Is it because you
That's
have
where
nails?
that's where that communication comes in. So when he's in a happy mood, you walk up to him and say, you know what? It's not like I don't want to cook for you again. But see, except you want me to leave, there are conversations. There's nothing that cannot be
Yeah.
solved. But you see,
And understanding.
yes, there must be an understanding. Sometimes, like I say, the man doesn't have to weary the woman before he understands that. That's why sometimes the man says, you know what, we need a house help here.
Some people don't even want help.
Sometimes they don't want. Yes, like I said, we're not going to generalize. At the same time, we're not going to pick everybody. But we're talking about the good woman here, and we're talking about the good marriage. And we're saying to ourselves, how can this good marriage go wrong?
Yes,
The
yes.
way it can go wrong is if the communication is not right. I need the support emotionally, because you can communicate and no support comes. So these two things are the pillars wherever there's a female breadwinner. Let me tell you something that goes on in the breadwinner's mind. They don't think like the normal. When I say normal,
I get you. I get you.
they think like a man and a woman at the same time. So they're thinking about keeping the bacon home. They're also thinking about the welfare of the children, including the man.
Of the
If the
office.
man goes out and comes back late, she's worried. For the man that doesn't provide, she still is worried.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And again, we're narrowing it to the one that is in a home, in a marriage, the ones that are abandoned, divorced. Sorry, we're talking about the ones in the home. But everything can be worked out. It can be worked out through conversations. It can be worked out through this support. Again, the man doesn't have to go out telling people, is my wife providing? No. There are ways to manage that relationship. See, keep saying
I think that
however you make your
just said now. Because there are some, maybe I should just make this public service announcement. We have gone off on.
Yes, I can't connect to Facebook. I don't know what happened.
If you can, request to join.
I have done
maybe.
That.
Okay, let me. Is she here now? Okay, let's try to see if we can do that. Because the way this our conversation is going, I'm not sure Instagram will chase us before we are able to finish this conversation. Because Instagram is just 1 hour. And then, I want us to completely finish this conversation. Where is it now? Okay, someone is still trying to help me here, but I just want us to quickly talk about this. You said the man should not go around telling people that, okay, it's my wife that is providing.
It's difficult for them to even do that.
Of some women. Some women claim that, some women claim that their husbands refuse to tell people the real situation in the home. And it makes people, especially their family members, it makes them continue to demand for what he doesn't have. How truthful do you think that men should be when it comes to letting people around them know the situation on ground? It doesn't, I don't know. But your brothers will come. Uncle, I want to carry that. Brother, I want to carry that, your deep freezer. They don't know. They just know that, okay. Or like maybe our typical Yoruba setting, the wife that is managing the food that she has at home, because we eat a lot of meat, then you now give somebody 1 or 2 pieces of meat and it becomes problem. Not knowing that this person is struggling to make ends meet. Brother is not telling his people that, come, there's nothing here, So how do we get that? How honest should he be with his people?
Okay, well, this question is really funny. there's nothing love and respect cannot do. Respect. Let me leave love. Everybody clings to love, but respect is can be separated when issues come. Because I can say I love you, but when issues come up, I don't respect you. So the thing is this: when there's a situation where there's a female breadwinner, we should always know that if the man had shown traits of being responsible and hardworking, things flip after a while. It's only if the man never showed that they're responsible.
God will bless
you. That's when we don't expect that things will change immediately. But if the man had always been provided, but for some reason things flip, which is where in-laws and other people come in, because they've always seen that their brother had been doing well. But when things change, they didn't know that things had changed. So to manage this particular situation, just one word is enough. My dear, I'm sorry, I can't give you this money at this time. You don't have to go into details. You don't have
Why
to
not?
go into this. No, because things can flip. Let me explain. Things can flip. Men, it's not really easy on a man's ego to tell his people that his wife is the one bringing the money for the food. They will lose respect for him. So you need to maintain your own respect as a man. So what you do is, my dear, right now, I will not be able to give you this. And the reason is with you. Unless you want to tell your mom that things are a bit, but for your siblings and all that, sometimes people don't really understand and they don't care what you give them as reason. So keep your reasons to yourself. I'm sorry.
But wait, I have a problem with that. Because if you can't tell your family members, then who do you tell? Because there is also a little bit of respect and comfort that if it comes from these people, may do the woman a lot of good. Just ordinarily holding her hand and saying, don't worry, or thank you.
Oh, yes, that's a different matter.
What are we talking about?
Okay, no, you've asked two different things.
Family.
You've asked two things now. The first one is to the woman. The first one is to the in-laws or to the brothers. The second one is to the woman. I always agree that the woman must always be appreciated, because we said in the beginning, it is not their natural roles. So while she's holding up the banner, you pass by every time to say, well done, my dear. Nejisike. It goes along.
The Jessica part of it.
Oh, yes, it's a beautiful word to tell anyone. Yes, that is bearing this kind of burden. But to your brothers and in-laws, things are not always the way they are. When these people, they're outsiders, I know that they're family, but they are not married into that marriage. So as long as they are not one flesh with you in this marriage, they are different. Sometimes they don't want to know what your reason is. They see 3 cars parked in the garage. They see 5 bags of rice. They see all those things. If it's something you can give them, you will say, you know what, I'll get back to you. You go to your wife and say, dear, this person wants this and all that. What do you think? Fine, respect that. Because if it is the man provided, the woman will not go into the store and say, oh, Neka, you should come and carry anything. She will also come and ask you.
God, she will bless you.
So there's always that communication. Don't forget. There's always that communication. People must communicate so that they'll have a better marriage. Outsiders, these people, when you don't give them, when you don't have tomorrow, they will not show up. If you don't have tomorrow, they will not show up tomorrow. So you don't destroy what you have in-house or in your house because you want to please the person outside. There must always be, the first value is the value you place on your wife and the work she's doing while she's holding on for you.
But I think that when it comes to, I think we should make this clarification. When it comes to the decision and the roles in the home, how does a female breadwinner navigate? The roles, like we have said, may not remain the same. But what's the decision-making process in the home? What do you think about that? Because I think, sincerely, this is where a lot of ladies miss it.
Decision making. Whether you're the breadwinner or not, as part of the one flesh, you have an entitlement to make decisions. The only difference here is, and let's not flog it. You bring the money, that's right, but you still have a head.
Mm-hmm.
You have a head. So because you bring the money, you will not wake up and say, you know what, I've earned this money, I need a Lexus, and you go off to buy it without informing.
Wait. Okay, so now we are beginning to digress a little. Continue.
Oh, no. Okay.
I will catch you halfway.
But you know, there's a time to buy all those things for yourself.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, if there are more pressing issues, remember, we're talking about the selfless woman. The selfless woman is someone who does not make an independent decision in a marriage. Yes, she's bringing the money. She could say, honey, I think we need a new sofa. What do you think? And he says, oh, but you don't have the money now. And you say, well, I saved up this. I just wanted to, find out if it's okay right now for us to buy this. Conversation. And the man says, oh, I didn't think we should. Well, if you don't need the money for any other thing, okay, let's go ahead and we'll go to IKEA tomorrow. We'll go and see what they have there. It's a conversation. But I really don't think there'll be a lot of peace in a home where the woman gets up, buys a house, and goes home to tell her husband, oh, by the way, I bought a house in VGC. The man will never feel good.
Okay, I think that, well, for me, what I think is that when it comes to roles, like we have said, I don't think the roles will remain the same.
Yes.
There needs to be a lot of consideration for this kind of women, that they have responsibilities that you as their husbands may not even know. They have responsibility towards the children. They have responsibilities towards you. They have responsibilities towards their own family members, so that they will not see their husband as failures. Because I don't think that some men realize that they also protect and present their husbands in a nice way to their family members. I mean, to the woman's family members. Then to your own family members, she's also being very careful not to be, present herself in such a way that, I have taken over your brother's life. They are also very careful about that as well. But when it comes to decision making, I think that decisions should be made jointly, and decisions, when it comes to certain decisions, especially when it comes to major decisions, I think that maybe we could talk these things through before we do whatever it is that we want to do. But I don't think also that everything the woman does should be questioned.
Oh, no,
because there are,
of course not.
At the end of the day, there are some people, I work with people, and I'm saying this out of experience of some people that, presently I'm working with someone that she has saved up for a car. You have one car in your compound, which is a car that the guy bought several years ago. But it just feels like for you to get another one is a slap on my face. And you're beginning to wonder, this car is already 4 years old. We could get another one. I don't have to wait for you when we are going out. You will drop me off and I will take bus or take Uber. I can just make life easier. I can afford it. I don't think every decision should be converted to become a major decision.
Oh, no.
There are decisions that you can make by yourself, for yourself.
Okay, can I
because
say
you should not be. Okay, yeah, please go ahead.
I say something? I'm sorry about this. There are certain things that are trivial. There are certain things that are not, they don't require calling the judge and the jury.
Yeah, God will bless you.
There are
Yeah.
certain things like that. But you know what? It is also worth mentioning. You don't just, I don't know. Someone says, hey, she's speaking like the good woman that she is. I speak from my heart, really. But you know, we will not be teaching people to go off tangents. Yes, we know that these things exist. I will not say, oh, I have to call my man to tell him that from work I will go to the grocery shop to buy. There's certain things I don't have to do. Okay, you need a car. Everybody sees you need a car. You talk to him about it. And all he will say is, I don't have the money. You say, oh, I have the money. But he needs to know. Because I don't know whether I hear well. But I have tried to see how possible it is for a man to lay down his ego. It comes in different ways. Some make it loud, some humble themselves, but they still have ego. The way you step on his tail, you see that he does. But you know, he's humble, he's gentle, he's a godly man, so he allows a lot of things pass by. But don't step. Don't take it for granted. He's still a man.
Okay, I get that. I sincerely, and I'm not trying to instigate anything, but I just want us to have a balanced conversation.
Yes, of course.
Because at the end of the day, we are also trying to have a conversation that will further other conversations that would cause a change eventually.
Yes.
And if there is any appeal that this conversation should be having, it should be that decisions will be made jointly, but there should be free will, or grant her some space to make certain decisions for herself. Like you said, and I like the way you put it, there is no need to call the judge and the jury for certain things. Just let some, because yes, there is ego and and every woman that has sense, that is wise, should know that I should tread softly, around this period, but also don't become too sensitive, that I will now have to bear the brunt of the entire thing. Because it is hard enough that she has to go out there and work and survive, and in a male-dominated world, she has to fend for her family. It is tough enough that she's the one thinking of the children's fees, thinking of the rent, thinking of all of that. But if she also has to carry the burden of looking and checking your temperature, is your temperature okay today? Can I do this? I think it is a bit unfair. That means you are putting that woman in a space where she's bearing the entire brunt of the situation that is happening in the home. When do we become team members? That you know that my team member is hurting. My team member needs support. My team member needs encouragement. And I don't want to add to the burden of my team member. When do we get to that point? Because you are the one that have the money, you are the one that is still having all the issues.
And the reason is because normally a woman is vulnerable. And then added with this responsibility, she's even more vulnerable. So sometimes she on her own puts herself down. So the fear of, if I go to ask him, should I put this thing, should I buy a car? He will say, no, oh, you want to show me now that you have money. So she plays that conversation in her head. And that conversation never happens in real life. Some of them, some are real. There are men who may not want that. They may want to be the one to do that. So they keep saying, you know what, wait a little longer, I'll do it for you. But the thing is, if that need comes, bring up your strong points and go to him and say it. You need a car, you work hard. And oh yes, once in a while, pat yourself on the back because yes, pat it. And a friend of mine said, I cool off. I make sure that I go out and then I laugh out loud. Because sometimes these things, they have serious psychological effects on the woman. And she never finds herself 10 years down the line, she looks at herself, she can't find herself again because she's been bearing burdens. But the thing is, it's good news. If you're a woman and you're bearing the burden, you can actually carry it with a lot of pride and pride. And be nice
Well,
about it. It should be nice. It should be a good thing.
I think that we have said a lot. Yeah, I think that we have said a lot today already. And I think that when it comes to the last thing, yeah, that I wanted to address before we go, right now, Kule, please, where's my iPad? Sorry. The last thing that I want us to talk about now, there is this particular lady, and what she is facing. She's Yoruba, and you know how sometimes some Yoruba people can be very superstitious. The fact that she's carrying the burden of her own home, her husband's family member actually think that she's using their son's glory, his star. And how do you advise a woman like this? Really, can I have my iPad?
Honestly, I don't know how to advise this woman because anything superstition is already embedded in the person. It's like trying to advise a woman who's in love. What can you say to her? She's in love until she has the scales fall off her eyes. You can't do anything.
No, she's not the one. Actually, her husband's family member.
Family is the one. Okay, well, yes. For me, really, a long time ago,
the man should step in and defend.
Hold on. That is if the man knows. There are people who go to the woman and never make the man know.
Yeah.
Okay? And then the man can step in different ways. If he does not believe in that superstition, he cannot step in further than that. He can only say to you know what, ignore them. But again, in every way, the man must protect his wife. Like I said, against whoever. These people are third parties. They are good to us. They are family members. But when it is night time, it is only you and this woman. So she's your first primary person to protect. So if he's aware, because there are people who go behind to go and just give the woman heat, and then they pretend in front of their brothers that everything is okay. If he's aware of this thing, I think he should. Because some of them they may secretly be believing in this superstition as well. And unfortunately, they can't help you. But as far as I'm concerned, if the man steps in, he should step in for his wife if he has to step in.
Yeah, I think a lot has to do for, the man is the one that can actually protect the woman. We have said a lot already. Time is flying like crazy, and we really have to go. I'm sure we have not done justice to this topic, and I'm sure we are going to still have this conversation again.
Oh, really?
Because there is a lot that while we are trying to lay down, everything that will be said today that we're into yet. But time is fast spent and we have to go. And I want to appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here today. If there's something that you want to say in closing, what would that be? So that we'll further this conversation. Definitely we have not said the last of it.
Okay, well, in closing, for me, I'd like to say that it is not a crime to be a female breadwinner. It may be challenging at first, especially for people who bump into it, who get into it abruptly. But I've always had this strength coming from God, which is how you can avoid all the potholes if you really want to avoid the potholes, vulnerability. So for me, I always say to myself, be strong. Take on this responsibility. If you're in your home with your man, give him what is due to him, that respect, and demand your own respect from him. Yes, you can demand your respect from him. And when I say demand, I'm not saying put your hand here. I'm saying remind him that he owes you that respect as well. And together, through conversations, work things out. It's an awesome thing to also be a breadwinner and a woman. And you know what? Take care of yourself. because you deserve
Yes,
it.
so yes, so
Go out, have
definitely,
fun with your friends, and be
yes,
happy.
definitely we'll be doing this again. I don't know, some network issues here, all those things. But anyways, we are going to have this conversation again, and I want to say thank you so much for being here. We'll do this again. The female breadwinner. This is just part one. We're going to have female breadwinner part two, and to be able to assess all the other sides that there is to this issue. Thank you so much, Adori. Thanks for honoring our invitation. Like I said, I know it's in the middle of the night for you there in Canada, and thanks for
I 10 o'clock for
all
Nigerian
the
time.
things. Yes, and thanks for all that you do for the kids. God bless you. Maybe next
Thank
time we
you.
get a bit more personal. God bless you. I appreciate
Thank
you
you so much.
immensely. And
Thank
from
you.
the two of us here, even though we have some comments here that we've been unable to read. Okay, Mama Angie is here, and she's making some. Ruth is here. We have a lot of people on Instagram. I can't. Some people are here. Oluwato saying here. There are some people that are here. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for not making it just the two of us, and for everybody that will see this afterwards. God bless you. And I want you to just have use this opportunity to further this conversation. Thanks so much. Thanks so much, friendship, for being here today, and would expect to see you next time. My regards to the kids.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.